Right, so that's the first thing you're going to do, is make a sauce. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use that sauce to assemble the lasagnes. And what we've done for you tonight is we want you to think about the idea of using the lasagna imaginatively. There's absolutely no point in making one lasagna. As you know, it's a bit of a faff making lasagna sometimes, so you need to use your time sensibly and think about what you could put in there. So if you're in my room, because Barbara's weighed all hers out beautifully, what I've got here is, first of all, I've got a vegetable bolognese sauce, okay, a big tub for each table. So you could make one with vegetable bolognese. I've also got some mushrooms and onions, so you could do a mushroom and onion lasagna. I've got some tomato sauce, and that's just a homemade tomato sauce. Okay, just a homemade tomato sauce. We've got all the recipes for these for you. And I've also got some spinach and leek. So if you're going to the trouble of getting out your lasagna and making a sauce, or you can obviously buy your sauces, what you need to think about doing is doing a whole batch, and perhaps thinking about bringing in the changes and introducing other flavours for the children or for yourself. Well, what I'm suggesting is maybe try to put in some different fillings. Okay, so I'm going to start off. First of all, this is some spinach and some leek. Okay, so if you put some of that into the bottom. Now, as you can see, this mixture, okay, the spinach and leek, and we've got a little bit of spinach. We've got about 100 grams per 4 portions. So that would be one exchange for the whole dish. One exchange for the whole dish. But you can see that filling is quite dry. Yes, this filling, this is an ordinary tomato one or an ordinary bolognese. This is much more liquidy, yes? So let's put the liquidy one into the bottom. So you can see straight away that if we're going to put in our lasagna in on top of that, we've got to think about the lasagna cooking. And because the lasagna is hard at the minute, if you've got a dry, let's put that one in there because it fits. If you've got a dry filling, you need some more liquid, yes, to cook the lasagna. So what I'm going to do with this one is have the spinach and leek, and I'm also going to put in a little bit of tomato sauce, okay, to give it more liquid. So I'm actually introducing sort of 2 flavours, and you'll see that this recipe is in there. This one, I wouldn't need to do that because I've already got the liquid from that one. And what I will do, just because I'm leaving that one to sit, and we'll come back to that one in a second. There we go. I'm just going to put the Dolomio sauce, okay? So this would just be a very, very plain lasagna. So enough to wet that topping is what I'm looking for. And then some more sauce, some more lasagna. This is the little one. So with these little ones, you need to just break off that so that it fits in your tub, yes? In the big one, it doesn't matter, but the big pieces will fit. So we'll go back and put some more in this one. Now, we had a question a wee while ago. We were down in London and we're working in one of the cookery schools there. And somebody asked the question, why when you see a lasagna, can you sometimes cut it with a knife? And sometimes when you have a lasagna, it all falls apart. And the answer to that question is how many sheets of lasagna you have inside. So the more sheets of lasagna, the more structure your dish will have. Okay, so I've got 2 in there. I've got 2 in there now. So once we get to sort of 3 or 4, we're going to have more structure. Okay, I'll put 1 more sheet of lasagna on top of that because I must finish with the sauce on top. Now the lasagna breaks up fantastically. I know not perfect to have all these little bits throwing away, but we'll put those to one side. I just want to make sure that that is looking as it should do on the top. And you would finish with your sauce, yes? And what you want to do is seal that. Okay, now, you could, if you wanted to, if you left that to sit for a while, you could actually freeze it, but I would let it soften before you put it in the freezer, but you could actually freeze it in that state, or you could partly cook it and then freeze it. I'll come back to the topping for that in a second. This one, I need some more sauce over the top. And remembering that this is not as moist I want to make sure that there's plenty of sauce down in there. Put in a little bit more of the tomato sauce.
So is that Delmeal sauce free?
This, yes, this is 0.5.
And I'm making my own sauce too.
And you're making your own? Well, good for you. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So we'll put that over the top and then we would finish with the sauce. Okay. So now if you don't completely cover the sauce, the lasagna, you will have, it will start to curl up. So you do need to try and just cover that completely, like so. I'll put that to one side. Now your topping, what you've got to do as well with your low protein diet is you've got to make sure that you've got a bit of crunch, a bit of bite in your diet, because that is also missing often in a low protein diet. So you're going to take your low protein sliced loaf and you're going to turn it into breadcrumbs. And you keep your breadcrumbs in a big tub like this, either in the freezer or little tubs if you want to, or bags. Don't go making one lot of breadcrumbs. It's a blooming nonsense. That's just nonsense. You get the whole loaf and you make the whole loaf into breadcrumbs and then you can just spoon them out. You can spoon them out from frozen as well, actually. But often, I mean, I've brought a big tub tonight because obviously you've got a big class. But normally at home, I would just portion them off into little bags and, you know, a couple of slices and do that. And we're going to be using this later on anyway, so you'll see about that. But I've got a big tub. So you need your low protein breadcrumbs to give it to brown it off, okay? And it's so worth doing this. We did, where were we? I can't remember which class we were in. And we did one with nothing on the top and one with the breadcrumbs on the top, just to show the difference. And it's just so much more appetising. So try to think about that. And talking of colour, we've got the quavers. Okay, so the quavers will give it a bit of colour as well. Now, you could just freeze it like that, or you could cook it, partly cook it, take it out, chill it, and then freeze it partly cooked, so you've only got to give it half the cooking time when it comes out.